Sandra Crathern Inner Vision, talking about health and well-being today. I wanted to start this vlog with a bit of a miserable face because it's called Gloomy, Doomy Days, and historically my understanding is the end of January, beginning of February, which is sort of the direction I think these vlogs are in now, towards the end of January, are very dark days for people. They feel really coming out of that winter period and desperate for warmth and sunshine and light, and it can make people feel really down. I think there's a lot more depression, my understanding, in sort of the winter months, particularly January and February. Often people have overspent a lot at Christmas and they're sort of suffering the consequences of that sort of in January, wishing maybe they hadn't, or reviewing their lives and maybe not happy with the direction they've been in the past. So I think it can all become a bit overwhelming, actually. And when I start to look at all the negative things that are going on and stack them all up, they can become bigger and bigger. And then, I think that's, for a lot of people, depression can set in and a lot of negative mindset. So how do we deal with these gloomy, doomy days when sometimes they aren't just the odd day, they can go on for weeks? And it's always the same thing for me, is to go back to the smallest little next right thing that we can do, and what choices have we got, and accepting that we feel a bit low and maybe doing some writing or talking to someone about them, finding ways to help ourselves feel better. For me, as we know, it's bicycles and cinemas and going for walks and early nights and talking about stuff and writing things down. My husband and I have a lovely ritual at Christmas where we have a gold book each, and we write down all the things of the past that we've not been happy with, and all the things that have gone fantastic in the last year, and our hopes and dreams for the next year. And then we read it out, we light a little candle, and we do this little ritual. I'm sure he just does it to appease me, but he does participate, and I'm grateful for that. So I think talking about these things are really helpful, whether it's to a friend or a coach or a counsellor or the doctor or whoever, because I think everybody has them. Perhaps to accept that we all have gloomy, doomy days. I think having a sense of humour is helpful. My husband calls them, "Are you having a gloomy, doomy day?" And of course that makes me laugh, and once I laugh, that does help me. So yeah, seek some help if you're really struggling long term with that, because there are support groups and people to help you with that if they are long term. But for the shorter term, not so chronic gloomy doomy days, there are other things that we can do to help ourselves. But I do think getting help and support is the key, really. We don't have to manage everything on our own. So I hope that your gloomy doomy days, after listening to this today, are a little lighter, and that you have some amazing days following them.